Hi, everybody, here with Kyle. And today we are going to talk about a topic that was super confronting for me at first when I heard Kyle say it. And the longer that I've sat with it, the more true it feels and the more right it seems to raise our kids this way. Um, what it was Kyle was talking about mothering, about mother guilt, his favorite topic that he says he wants to save the world from, which I love, and that it was better for us to not put our kids first, but in fact, put ourselves first. And I don't know about you, Kyle, but in my household, that goes against everything that I was taught. So I'm just curious if you could say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, as I hear you say that, I also just even take a whole step back, even from parenting, is like, it's just an important life practice that we all put ourselves first, just in general. It's like, and when we don't, we get stuck into this, oh, I got to fix my collar. How embarrassing. That we get stuck in this pattern of like giving ourselves away when we put other people first and we start to resent people. So the whole process of going through the first three levels is about like getting ourselves filled to overflowing. And so like, I want to be in relationship with somebody who puts themselves first, because then like, if I don't put myself first and and we're in relationship, all of a sudden you can't really trust what I'm saying or doing. Like I say, where do you want to go for dinner? And I say, well, I don't know. I want to go wherever you want to go, when maybe I actually do have a strong desire, or, all the ways that I might kind of not serve myself around how I wanted to spend my time, or, you know, what I needed to feel filled or good. And like the intimacy erodes then when I'm not taking care of myself. I like to be around people that are like fully taking care of themselves 100% all the time, because then I know if you come over to my house that you're here because you want to be, not because you have to be. That I don't have to run around making sure you're okay, or that you da. I can trust you to say, hey, I need a drink of water or something. It's like, great, I'd love for you to have a glass of water. So like, I love to be around people that are taking care of themselves all the time. To really be a full adult in any relationship, you have to have filled yourself. Now, it's even more important with children, is when we put our children first, it gives them this strange idea about relationships and about parenting and all this kind of stuff, that it's about sacrifice. Oh, parenting's about sacrifice. It's like, that's terrible. I don't want to be the object of sacrifice from my parents. Yuck. Blah. Blah, now I owe them something, or I don't know. It's like this weird thing. People have kids because they want them, not as some kind of service to some kind of child. It's like, oh, I think I'll have a child so that I can be in service. People have children because I think I'd like to have kids. And then we say, like, blame the kids for being here or something. Like, oh, now I have to be in service to you. It's like, you made them, right? So it's like, it's just so strange how we approach all this. So the other problem is, like, you imagine your kid, and particularly mothers do this, fathers can do it too, but particularly mothers run around in service to me all the time. It's like, oh, you forgot your homework. Here, I'll get it there for you on time. And I'll da. And they run around like they're my servant. Well, what does that teach me as a man or a woman about being a woman? What does that teach me about my value, my worth? We have these narcissistic, children, because they're always being put first. They think they're so super important, more important than what mom needed today, or more important than what dad needed today. And it's been this cascading thing that's gotten worse for the past 50 years. Like when I was a kid, I was talking to somebody. When I was a kid, I could stay out, like I could walk back in the dark, and we say it's because it's not safe out there in the world. I don't think it's really that much different out there. It's just the psychology of this stuff is so different. And like, there's a self-reliance, there's a quality of not being so important, and humility of taking care of my own needs, of knowing how to take care of myself and do what I need, that's lost in all this. And it's just not in service to anybody, for a parent or for anybody to diminish what they need for somebody else. It creates these terrible entanglements, resentments, and guilt and responsibility and stuff that just none of us need.
Yeah, I just am. It's a really great question that I've been asking myself since I've heard this. How would my life be different if my parents had taken care of themselves first? What would I have learned? What would I think about parenthood? Would I be more excited or less excited to have a kid? So I've just been really examining it and figuring out what it would mean for me, how my life would be different, not because I regret anything that was done, but just, trying to figure out how important it is moving forward for me if I have kids. So it's been really illuminating.
What's one message or one thing that you think might have, like imagining having two parents that just took care of themselves and did what they wanted all the time? What's one thing you think might be an impact of that on you?
I would be way more excited to have kids. Because I could still get my needs met and have children. And also, I am a recovering people pleaser. So I think that just overall in my life, I would be better at self-care and think that I was worthy of self-care because I didn't watch somebody sacrifice all the time. Now, I had a great childhood, but I was definitely put on a pedestal and everything was done for me. And that's been a little bit of a rude awakening as an adult that people don't do that for me all the time. I'm like, what the heck?
They understand.
If I don't get my work done on time, my mom's not going to cover for me,
Right. Let's get her in there.
Yeah, totally. So it's also that it's like I didn't fully feel prepared for life in a lot of ways. Like that self-responsibility wasn't there all the time. So I can just see so many ways in which it impacted me, and I'm really grateful for the childhood I had. But I'm excited to use this philosophy going forward, just for my own self-care and also for how I parent.
That's great.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Kyle. I feel like everybody's going to benefit from that, especially the mothers, but also the fathers.
Yeah, send your hate emails to me right away.
Awesome. Well, you can send them to me. I'm not giving out his email. You can send them over here.
Send them to Olivia. We'll send them to her mother to take care of.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So my email is olivia@inquirymethod.com. If you have any suggestions on topics that you'd like, what you'd like to hear more of, if you want to hear how Kyle can help solve all your mother guilt, write us an email. And thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.